Welcome back. It is Thursday, the 8th of January 2026, and I am filming a later video today because I was actually in the office, but I still wanted to do a video because I want to do one every day to prove to myself that I can do one every day and keep working on the house and do a little bit each time. And so the missus has said to me that a lot of these projects start to slow down when I'm waiting on materials or I'm waiting on certain tradespeople to come, like the plumber to come, do the electrics we have to do as well, waiting for the loft conversion to be done, etc, etc. So what we're going to do today is, in this room, we are going to take off the remainder of the picture rail, which is up here, and the skirting board and the scotia beading, because if you remember there was laminate flooring here and it had scotia beading on top of it. So we're going to pull all of that back off. You can see this is the one that I did the other day when we marked on the wall for the light chase. So it causes quite a bit of damage. It's quite a lot of filling and sanding that has to be done after. I'm not really sure how you get round it, because most of the woodwork in these old houses is held in place with what I refer to, or I've been told, are called cut nails. That is how far they go into the wall. And I think over the years they draw moisture from the wall and end up kind of welding themselves in place. So the fixings are super solid compared to like whenever I've taken other types of nail and screws out. So yeah, if anyone knows a way that we can do that easier, please let me know. But yeah, just want to kind of keep the project moving on, because what that means is once I take all of these off the picture rail, I can put a first coat of filler in. Then if I've got a day where there's not a lot going on, I can sand that back and put the second coat of filler on. Just little bits to kind of keep the project moving forward as the kind of the days tick by. Obviously we're 8th of January now. I've got lots and lots left to do. So what I'll do is I will move some bits around. As you can see, that's supposed to be my office chair and some wine cooler holder thing. Move this out of the way. Let's get this bit done first, and I'll show you when I get to it how I do it. And there are a load of different ways of doing it, but I'll show you the way that I do it in case you want to give it a go yourself. But first of all, let's move all of this out the way. And with social media, no, brilliant. Okay, well, I'll just move that stuff then myself. Right, so we have pulled that out and created a bit more room for ourselves. As you can see, there is a long piece of skirting board, small little bit there. Same with the picture rail. Up here looks, yeah, that one, yeah, that didn't work too well. And the two tools that I use are a hammer, and I've got a nail puller here. These are really good, because what I'll do is I'll start off with it like this and I'll show you, and then once we create a bit of a gap, I will then try and hammer this way in, which would then give me more leverage, and then eventually if we need it we just use the hammer. But yeah, let's start off doing that. As easy as that. Now, I don't know whether it will show on the camera, but you can see all of the nails. 1, 2, cut nail, 3, 4, 5. And there's two options. Either you use an angle grinder and you cut them off flush with the wall, or you just use your hammer, and what I like to do is just rock it so that I'm not putting pressure on it straight away, and then one big movement up. That tends to get it out, and literally we'll just go across the whole wall, pull them all out, and these are not short nails. These are a good length now, so we literally will just put it into place, rest the hammer on the floor, big rock motion, nice and quick, use the leverage, get it out, job done. Right, let's get this tiny bit out in the corner. Exactly the same process. So, as you can see, I'm holding this like this way first, so vertically. Put that on the top edge, so this kind of sharper bit resting between on the wall and the top of the skirting board at like a 30 degree angle, 30 to 40 degree angle, hit it in. Then literally with your palm flat, just lever it. If it breaks off like that, it doesn't matter. Use your claw hammer, pull that bit off, go in again. Pull it forward, keep your hands out the way. As easy as that. And then we've got some more nails. So that's how I do the skirting board. Now when we look at the picture rail, is exactly the same, but what I'll do is I'll go from the bottom up and do the same thing. So you can see here, I'll put it in there. Do it again. Then if you can lever it enough, doesn't matter. This wood is very dry, so you are likely for it to split. Right, so now I've got the top bit hanging off. Hard for you to see, but what I'll do is let me try and move the camera. So, as you can see here, this bit is off the wall. Now what you want to try and do is pull this forward until you hear it start to crack, and then what you want to do is you want to use your other tool to move along, lever, keep going along, and then hopefully you can do it without it all splintering to pieces. So literally, just keep working your way along. That's all we're going to do for the remainder of that bit. Right, so we've taken that skirting board off, we've taken all the nails out, taken the picture rail off and taken all of the nails out. You can see these lovely big divots that are left. These will all be filled. When I got to this end, I started tapping the wall and, well, a lot of it fell off. I wonder whether some water has got in at some point, which has caused a lot of this damage around here. Because as you can see on this edge, it's gone back to the brickwork again. But it's not terrible. But what we can see is we can see some cracks that have happened behind. So what my plan is to rake out these cracks. I'll show you how I do that. And then we will fill it and decide whether we skim this whole wall or whether we're able to do a partial repair, because the rest of the wall is not actually in terrible condition. It's had a number of bits of filler over the years, but what's that? Then you see there's like a crack. Okay, there's a bit of damage on these walls. but you want to get all of them bumps out. Like, and you can hear the difference between a solid bit of wall and there. So if we come over to here, it sounds different. This is live. You hear it becomes more echoey. But we can see from there, that's had a number of repairs. That's all filler. That's been replastered, that's been replastered. This is filler. I don't think anyone has actually stripped it back, sorted out what the issue is behind, and they've just keep kind of putting a plaster on the wound. So I'm probably going to strip most of this bit off, I may end up seeing how high that kind of goes back because there's damage all the way to here. So what I might do is end up cutting it along here, taking that all back to brick, making sure there's no damage behind, and I might just plasterboard in that bit ready for it to be skimmed over. Unfortunately, I can't plasterboard this whole bit because when we look up at the coving there's only about 5mm reveal between the top of the plastered wall and the coving. And if we put plasterboard over that, we're going to completely lose that, and it will look a little bit weird. Obviously, we've got this damage here. That's no big drama. We will fill that, build that out with a couple of coats, sanding as we go. But yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move I'm going to hoover there, move some of this plasterboard behind there, move the covered over bed back into position. Means that I can get the piece of skirting board that's behind there. I can also get the bit of picture rail, skirting board, and then that is all of the woodwork for now taken off in this room. So I'll show you once I've done all that. Right, so that's about, I don't know, hour and a half's work. What time is it now? Yeah, about an hour and a half's work. Hoovered behind me, as you can see, relocated my sign, which is awesome. Moved the whole sheets of plasterboard over there as well, so they are out the way. And we have taken off skirting board. Just remembered, need to get that bit off. Skirting board behind now, skirting board down here, and the picture rail around there. The only bit of wood left in this room is behind the radiator, which is a right pain to get off while the radiator's in place. So I'm just going to wait until I take that off in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, I've cut all of the wood up so it's ready to go in the car to the dump tomorrow, and then that will clear out this whole section because this is where all of our wiring feeds are going to come up. So I need to make sure that we have got easy access down what's left of the chimney into the living room below, and we will put the feeds up into the loft, and I will probably tuck them around there so that they are up and out of the way. It would be nice when that is done because then these battens can stop looking like they do and they can get screwed to the wall. These sheets of plasterboard screwed to the wall. But yeah, that is another day in the bag. That is the 8th of Jan done. I'm gonna finally go and have something to eat and have a shower. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow where we're gonna chase the light switch in. I'll show you how I do that. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you are watching this, and look forward to hopefully seeing you tomorrow. Thank you.